key people that I thought needed to know about it in order to make it happen. So just thinking, there's probably no chance, but let's try. And one of the people was a woman called Anita Balla, who's very involved in the Greater Birmingham and Solihull Local Enterprise Partnership, which is a regional development agency, basically, that has written the creative industries into its strategy, which actually is quite unusual.
Oh, is the city?
Yeah, well, it's Birmingham. It's like a weird geographical area that someone's done that on a map. So it's got South Staffordshire in it as well, and so it kind of goes north. So it's a little bit more than Birmingham. Birmingham's the kind of core of it. So they'd kind of written it, but they didn't really have no one had actually given them any concrete proposals, basically. So I came with this. And a woman called Jo Birch, who works for the university, who I already knew through Eastside. I went and had a conversation with her, and they were already thinking, the RE team were already thinking about, they'd done lots of projects on cross-innovation and open innovation and lots and lots of research around that for a number of years. And so we're thinking about an innovation space. And then I suppose, so like those two ideas came together. And then...
Definitely. This is your work here?
Yeah.
This is your role?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so so we were kind of developing it together for maybe 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Kind of 3 years with the university. Yeah.
Or
developing the idea, and then it kind of...
When you're talking about the university, you're talking about STEAM house projects?
Yeah.
Okay. And why STEAM side projects choose this area?
Digbeth.
Yeah.
So originally,
Yeah.
I can't remember whether it was actually connected to the funding, but at the point when we went for that funding, they were trying to make a cultural quarter in Digbeth. So when we first started, that was like a city plan, was that Digbeth would be the cultural
10
quarter.
years ago.
Yeah. So it was already had stuff going on, but they did the thing where they divided the city up into quarters, and that was cultural. So you were kind of encouraged to go there, and you would have more chance of getting money if you went there. So we went there, and it's so close to the city centre,
Yeah.
and it was there were some things there. So Icon Gallery had a building down there that had a gallery that went to about 3 different buildings over maybe 4 or 5 years.
Where is it in these regions?
In Digbeth, yeah, and Vivid was there in a slightly different form. So there were a couple of things there already, and obviously the Custard Factory was there, and there were people working there, and Ideal was there. There was that kind of culture, kind of street skate kind of culture there already. So yeah, that's kind of where we went.
Oh, nice. You told me this side project is part of the Arts Council National Portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And who are the another most important supporters for this side project?
The university. And then we make most of the rest of the money ourselves. Early on, we had a very big grant from the Paul Hamlin Foundation. It was called a Breakthrough Award that Gavin got, who's the director who works for me. And it was for exceptional cultural entrepreneurs. And so we got £300,000 that originally was supposed to be over 3 years, but in the end we spread it out. But that basically meant I started working there. So we were able to pay staff, pay me and sustain our staffing in a different way and scale up. So, yeah, that was really key. And early on, things like, there's a thing called the Future Jobs Fund that was about getting young people who were unemployed into work. And obviously there are loads of unemployed fine art graduates and people who want to work in the arts. And so that was government money they got a little bit of extra money on their dole basically, and came and worked for us for 6 months. And so, but primarily Hamlin was very important. We've had a little bit of money off the Jerwood Foundation at some points, but now we do a lot of off-site projects and a lot of public artworks. So projects that are about us developing audiences and being out, but also bring income back.
Oh, nice. What exactly is the relationships between the East Side Project and Eastern House? Is you the main link?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you organize these rules in both projects?
What do I do in both projects?
Yeah.
So at Eastside, I'm associate director. So there's me and Gavin that run it basically, and I'm the one that I do a lot of the artist development stuff and kind of manage a lot of that. We set the strategic plan together. We do the big main funding applications. I suppose I do a lot of the thinking about the staff bit. Sometimes I also program exhibitions, so it's not like a clear hierarchy, but I'd say he is slightly more on he's an artist curator and is much more interested in curating than I am. So he's more on the program side, whereas but we both cross over. But I make it happen a bit.
Yeah.
But then do a lot of the pedagogical stuff. So for a long time I taught. I was a technician in the art school and then I taught. So this is a sort of more interesting way to do that. So that's what I do there. But it's kind of everything really, because it's a very, very, very tiny team. So the show that's on now, Mixed Rice, I went to Korea on a research trip and found them and brought them back. And so I did a lot of the initial setting up the relationships where I met Julie. And then, because this has all been going on, Lucy, who's a PhD researcher who's based with us, then picked it up later on and kind of did the curatorial. So, yeah, we tend to do a lot of baton swapping, And then here I am creative director, which has meant being involved in the development of the projects, doing fundraising. So we've got a big £500,000 grant from the Arts Council. Basically, I wrote. I have been totally involved in the refit of the building, so on the building through that whole development process, and then as it's been built, so I helped choose the colours. I have, worked out, had ideas around the furniture, bought the chair, so all aspects of the building in terms of what it looks like, and then very involved in fitting out the workshops and kind of work really closely with the technicians still now, but I spec'd up all the kit in the first place. So yeah, I suppose I've set the vision for what they were, that then the technicians have come in and added to and changed and developed, but we've done that together. So when we were fitting them out, I led the technical team. And then now, going forwards, we have a service level agreement, basically. So we deliver what's called the open route. So that's the route that's about artists and creatives and designers being able to come in and make
try to
products.
Engage these people for use this building.
Yeah. So it's business support. So it's quite, you have to be a business to use it. So it's quite a specific structure because of the funding. And we have to it's only 39 people that we have to get through, but I think we'll be able to get more. But it means we can curate it a little bit and select people that are really interesting, that are really good people to have in the building, that really can, that this is going to enable them to make a real step change in terms of what they are able to do or what they're able to develop. I mean, we're supporting 200 people overall. It's the target but some of those are 12-hour, what are called business assists, so they're around business support. And then there are less people that will get to come and use the space for a year. I think probably will exceed our targets, because I think the way people work means they're not going to be in here 5 days a week. They're going to come in for projects, so we'll be able to support lots of different things. But yeah, so I run the open route, so that's involved doing loads of tours and bringing people in, and if you get on the open route, I'm the one that has a meeting with you initially, and then I kind of track what you're doing and meet up with you every now and again to go, where are we at? Do a bit of run some workshops that are around kind of critical thinking around ideas, I suppose. And then I've also got to do some public programming, so program public events that are about bringing interesting thinkers in to make people think in interesting ways, I suppose.
Yeah,
so, but it's all. Today I'm the duty manager, so it's all sorts of things really.
Thinking about the concept of the building project, in your opinions, what is the most difference and similarity between the both projects?
In both projects, I think they're very different.
Totally different.
Yeah, but that's